welcome to the deep dive.
Oh.
So if you're looking to step into the legal world, or maybe you're the one hiring talent for your team, today's deep dive is, well, it's your essential shortcut.
It really is.
We're jumping right into the core skills that, really define success and a pretty vital role, the paralegal assistant. Because in this job market, it's so competitive. Just having a good resume, it just isn't enough anymore. You have to show exactly how you fit.
That's absolutely right. And for this, we're zeroing in on a guide from the Kaplan Career Center. And what's great about this is it's not just a list of duties.
No.
It focuses on the actual interview questions, the ones that are designed to assess, well, everything. Not just the technical skills, but critical thinking, organization, and maybe the most important thing, interpersonal skills.
Right.
So our mission today is to figure out what proves a candidate is truly ready to thrive in that kind of, high-stakes environment.
The stakes are incredibly high for this role. I mean, paralegal assistants give indispensable support to attorneys.
The whole legal team, really.
The whole team. So the interview has to check for two things. Fundamental competency, obviously, but also compatibility. Can you handle the pressure?
Exactly.
So we are going to unpack the 6 most common, most vital questions that really get to the heart of a candidate's expertise.
Okay, so let's unpack this, starting right at the baseline, defining your experience. The very first question seems simple, but it's deceptively strategic.
It is.
What experience do you have as a paralegal?
And this is where a lot of candidates make a mistake. They just, they give a quick summary of their resume.
Summary book report.
Yeah, exactly. But the source material is very clear. This isn't a yes or no answer. The structure they want demands immediate specific details.
So you need to hit them with the data first.
Precisely. You lead with the length, the exact number of years or months of experience. Then you immediately connect that experience to specific areas of law.
Like family law or
family law, corporate governance, immigration, whatever it is.
Right.
And you mentioned where you worked. The goal is just to establish your specialty right away. And then comes the proof, right? They're looking for, I assume, concrete examples, not just claims.
Exactly. You have to follow that up with a concrete list of the specific tasks you handled. The real pitfall here is listing generic things like answered phones.
Right.
A successful candidate is going to list high-impact responsibilities like, I drafted motions for summary judgment, or I managed discovery for 3 complex litigation cases. They want to see you're ready to contribute from day one.
That strong foundation then leads right into the next big skill they test. What is your understanding of the legal research process? I imagine in this day and age, everyone says they can Google it, but that's not going to cut it here.
Not at all. And what's so fascinating is how rigorous the expected answer is. It goes so far beyond just looking things up. The core of it is, first, correctly identifying the relevant laws and regulations for the issue.
And the sources must be a big part of it. The legal world doesn't just use one kind of source.
Correct. After you identify the issue, you move into what they call resource management. That means you know the different tiers of resources.
Yeah.
Primary authorities like statutes and case law, and then secondary sources like legal encyclopedias, which help you interpret everything. But the most critical part, the thing that separates a retriever from a real paralegal, is the analysis.
The analysis. So it's not just about finding it, it's about applying it. How do they test for that?
Well, they want you to explain that you can synthesize all that information to provide clear, actionable guidance. A huge red flag for an interviewer is if a candidate just talks about finding a case. You have to talk about what that case means for your client's specific situation. You have to explain the so what.
And on the technical side, I noticed the source material really made a point about citation.
It did, and that's non-negotiable. On a technical level, you have to be proficient with online databases like a Westlaw or a LexisNexis, and you have to know how to cite authorities correctly. That accuracy, knowing your blue book, is just, an error can undermine the whole team's credibility.
All right, shifting gears a bit. We've covered the baseline knowledge, so let's pivot to technical execution. This is where a candidate proves their day-to-day value.
This is the workflow.
It's all about producing correct, precise documents and handling court logistics. So question 3 gets right to the output. What is your experience with drafting legal documents?
The interviewer is looking for two things here: variety and precision. They're testing your technical versatility. So the ideal candidate needs experience drafting a few distinct types of documents.
And the source mentioned a few specific ones.
Yes, specifically pleadings, motions, contracts, and legal briefs.
I mean, that's a huge spectrum. A contract is all about future obligations, very transactional. But a legal brief is purely argumentative. It's all about case law.
Precisely. And you have to be able to explain that you understand the specific formatting and language for each of those. The key word here is precision. Legal documents have to be flawless. Any little mistake, a misplaced caption, can have huge consequences for the client.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move from the drafting to the actual, interaction with the courts. We're going to skip ahead in the outline a bit because this is pure hard skill territory. Question 5. What is your experience with e-filing and court procedures? This seems so crucial now.
It is the daily grind. I mean, before e-filing, paralegals were literally running boxes of paper to the courthouse. Now it's instant, but the digital formatting, the protocols, they're incredibly strict. You have to show you respect that.
So it's not just about knowing how to upload a file, it's the context around it.
Exactly. They need to see procedural experience. That means filing the documents, of course, but also communicating effectively with the court clerk's office.
The gatekeepers.
They are the gatekeepers of the timeline. And you need contextual knowledge knowing the different deadlines for different types of cases, civil versus probate.
And the final piece of that was serving documents. Why is that specific skill so critical that it gets a mention here?
Because if documents aren't properly served, meaning delivered to the other side according to the rules, the whole case can be at risk.
Wow.
Service is the proof that the other side was officially notified. It validates the court's power over them. So the candidate has to know how to format and manage that proof of service. It's a tiny detail with immense legal weight.
Okay, so the legal environment is, we all know, notoriously high pressure. You're constantly juggling multiple projects, competing demands from attorneys.
It's chaos management.
It really is. And how a paralegal assistant manages that chaos and works with others is often the deal breaker, the soft skills. So question 4 gets right to it. How do you handle deadlines and prioritize tasks?
This answer has to be framed around a proven method. A candidate needs to show they've worked on multiple projects at once, all with competing deadlines. The firm isn't just asking if you have a to-do list.
They're testing your system for making decisions under stress.
That's it. So they're looking for a systematic approach. The core method is prioritizing tasks by identifying the most urgent and important ones first. Then you have to show how you execute that.
So creating a schedule.
Creating a schedule, digital or otherwise, to meet all the deadlines. But as we both know, planning is only half the battle.
Because in a busy firm, if everything is urgent, then nothing is. You have to be adaptable.
Exactly. The firm is really testing your ability to handle the inevitable chaos. So the complete answer must include regular communication with the team about shifting priorities and, crucially, the ability to adjust that schedule when an attorney drops an unexpected high-priority task on your desk.
You're proving you're flexible, but still rigorous.
You got it.
And that adaptability feeds right into the final essential question, which is all about interpersonal skill. What is your approach to working in a team?
This brings up a really important question. I mean, why is teamwork so essential in a role where you might spend hours working alone on research? It's because the source material points to communication and collaboration as key. If a paralegal fails to communicate a finding or a delay, the attorney is working with bad information.
So how does a candidate prove they are, proactively collaborative without just sounding like a people pleaser?
They need to show they stay informed about what other team members are doing, that they have situational awareness, and that they give regular updates on their own work without needing to be asked.
So it's not just about being friendly, it's about being strategically informative.
Yes. And the source also highlighted this idea of a growth mindset. So beyond just communication, they emphasize being open to feedback and, this is critical, being willing to take on extra responsibilities to help the team meet its goals. That's the difference between a passive task doer and a proactive contributor who fills the gaps. That's long-term value.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? We've seen that success in this paralegal assistant role really hinges on 6 fundamental pillars.
Foundational experience, research mastery.
Drafting precision, procedural compliance, rigorous prioritization, and that collaborative team spirit. If you can master the strategic answers to these 6 questions, you've pretty much covered all the necessary ground.
And remember, the depth of this sector is just huge. The source material highlights all the different opportunities by listing specialized job titles you can grow into. Certified paralegal, corporate paralegal, family law, legal analyst.
Intellectual property paralegal even. It shows that this role is a foundation for so many different essential paths in the legal field.
It really is.
And the preparation itself is just so key. The Kaplan source we used, it points to specific career resources to help you nail this. They mention tools like an interview coach, which they call a revolutionary tool, and an offer analyzer, which helps you compare your compensation with the market.
Preparation is everything.
It's the ultimate secret weapon for landing the right role.
Absolutely. We've looked at 6 pretty universal questions today designed to test general competence. But for your next deep dive, consider this. Think about how the answers we talked about, which were, intentionally generic, would need to be immediately and drastically tailored for a specialized role.
That's a great point.
For instance, think about answering that question on legal research if you were interviewing to be an intellectual property paralegal versus, say, an immigration paralegal. What specific research databases or types of documents would shift completely based on that focus? That's your next step, customizing everything.